can change throughout the text. It does not have to be the same from the beginning of the story to the end of the story. It can definitely change. But remember, we want to look for the building blocks of a theme. We want to look for the main ideas that the author places in the story. When we look at the character, right? What main ideas are we seeing here?
Acceptance.
Acceptance. Okay, and why would you say that?
Because he's trying to fit in family and not
Right.
do anything wrong.
His parents actually accept, well, not his parents, but they're actually accepting him
Okay.
because how he looks. He looks really like, so he's faking to be, like, his parents are invested throughout his time.
Absolutely. So,
He got really nervous when he came home and they gave him pizza and root beer, and he didn't finish either of them, but he went to bed early.
But yeah.
And then his parents were worried that him and his parents were worried that he was gonna do something wrong, like, cause he was worried because his parents knew that he likes that cheese pizza and root beer, cause they're his favorite thing, and he liked that movie, but they never they never finished it. He just went to bed, and so, and his parents are trying to catch him now to it.
I think that one of the main ideas would be guilt, because we've been talking about guiltiness a lot, so like, it could be a part of the thing too, like guiltiness could stride you to do different things.
This is going through most of the book right now.
Yeah, it's kind of
so instead of saying, and I love what you all just said, by the way, because you are taking these key or main ideas that we're seeing present in this text, and you're not calling them a theme, right? Because as we know, themes are not just one word. We take these ideas and we kind of mesh them together and look at the way that the character exhibits these either behaviors or feelings, and then we kind of come up with a lesson that we know that the author has purposely wanted us to get from the text, right? So I would love to hear a couple more, because I know earlier we talked about, like you said, guilt, and you also talked about acceptance here. But ladies, what do you believe would be some more key ideas? Because there's certainly more.
What do you think, Neil?
I don't know, not hearing it. I guess I feel like we'll give up on the fact that he, like, kind of feel like he's being on camera, I guess.
Okay, and I think that's fantastic. And do you know what that's called when you don't give up? There's a couple words for it. But one, he's persistent, or two, he's determined, right? So would you say determination could be a key idea or a main idea here?
Yeah, because he's like determined to be real lazy.
He's determined to be real lazy. Absolutely. And what evidence do we have to back that up? And we did mention it earlier for that main idea. Like, essentially, why is he wanting to be real lazy? What's driving
Because he
him?
wants to like fit in and like be normal and have a family.
His parents are rich.
I can agree with you because he wants to fit in, and he also, to add on to that, he wants to get away from his past with his pop, and he doesn't want to like pop manipulated him and made him feel like he's been really bad, and that they would lock him up and stuff like that, like he already has been locked up. And so if he feels like if he's gonna be locked, like he feels like if he tells them who he is, he's gonna be locked up.
I think that if he stays with his family now, that he wants them to tell him that he's like good for once or something, because he never got told that.
And that ties back into acceptance. Don't you love how these main ideas kind of tie back into each other? And that's why we as the reader need to take a good look at these key elements and realize, okay, so I know these one word main ideas can't be a theme because there's way too many. So they have to come together for the ultimate message. And even though I know we're just a little ways into our book, does anyone have an idea as to what a possible theme may be? Now I know I heard you mention one, and I kind of like that one. You can share it again, or if you have another one, it's possible that there are different themes, and what your idea of a theme is may not be what Neela's idea of the theme is, and you both might have evidence to support those themes, and it would be interesting to see when you compare those themes just how you got to that idea. Okay, so does anyone want to share what they believe the theme may be so far in the text?
Maybe how far you can go with guilt overhead.
Okay, so you're saying that maybe the author wants me to know that, well, I'm gonna let you finish that. What, if you take that, what you just said about guilt, and you phrased it, the author wanted me to know, or I learned, how would you phrase that?
Because he's just, like, he's too far into the lies now that he can't back out of it without being in trouble, so he's just gonna keep pushing himself to keep lying about his true identity.
I think the reason why he doesn't want to back away from it is because he doesn't want the family to feel bad if they actually have problems. Because he knows that's exactly what happens to their son.
Yeah, he does. You're absolutely right.
That's probably guilty of that.
Okay. So maybe then something along the lines of the author wants me to know that if I feel guilty, I need to maybe do my best to resolve these feelings of guilt in some way. Now remember, these are just beginning ideas for a theme. We need to continue reading the text because it will most likely change. Okay? But we want to make sure that we're very aware of what we're reading and reading with a purpose, because if we're going to write about what we believe the theme is, you need to be reading with a purpose. Okay? Because the author certainly wrote this with a purpose, right? With the intent of you getting a message, Brian, Neela, with you getting a message, right? And everyone else who's reading this text. You want to set out to read with a purpose as well. Okay, so here's what I would like for you to do. Even if you don't have an idea of what the theme is just yet, that's okay. And here's why. Because you're just starting out, and you maybe need to continue to see how Cameron is going to respond to the other conflicts, both internal and external. And I really, really want you to annotate that. When you see the dialogue going on between characters, and you feel like it's important, and you feel like the author purposely put that in there, and you see the language stands out to you, annotate that, okay? And explain your thinking. Why is that important? Also, make sure that you are taking a good look at how Cameron responds specifically to the way that he feels. What actions or steps is our character taking to resolve those feelings of guilt? And I know all of you kind of agreed that guilt was a main idea that you think you're going to see throughout the remainder of this text. So how does guilt play a factor or a major role in our characters' development in their life? And that's what we want to take a look at if we're going to figure out what the author's purpose or message is for you to take away from this book, okay? So with that said, it was very great work today. I would really, really, really like for you for next time to think about some really good evidence that you could use to support your thinking. So when you come back, these annotation sheets, okay, I'd really like to see these filled out, so that way we can actually share some of our great ideas in thinking with one another. And by the time we meet again, you're gonna be far enough into the book where you should have some really, really good ideas about what theme is developing here, okay? All right, guys. So go ahead and take this back and go ahead and start your reflection, okay?